vision, or have another print disability which makes reading, holding a book, or turning a page difficult or impossible. The content is copyrighted by the respective publishers. For more information, please visit us on the web at nfradioreading.org.
Hello, this is Janice Marie Hunter for the next hour. I'll be reading from the July 9th, 2026 issue of the East Aurora Advertiser on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Senior housing project moves forward with village approval. Site plan and special use permit next up. A proposed senior housing complex in East Aurora is allowed to move forward following a village board meeting on Monday, July 6th. The board unanimously approved Young Development's application for a rezone of the property at 270 Quaker Road from general manufacturing to general residential. The board also approved a minor subdivision of the property from a 15-acre parcel into two parcels, one approximately 11 acres in size and one 4 acres in size. Trustee Steve Lazickas was absent for the meeting. During board deliberations, Mayor Luke Wojcinski reminded the village board that the board was not approving the project but a rezone of the property and a subdivision of the land. Additional approvals would be required. It's something I'm comfortable with right now, knowing we have the opportunity to relook at this once they submit the full packet of the plan, Trustee K. Grace Vigor said. Young Development is proposing to build a 118-unit, two-story complex with market-rate apartments for individuals 55 years old and over. The proposed project will still need a special use permit, site plan, and environmental review approval before any construction can begin on the site. Both applications were previously recommended for approval by the Planning Commission earlier this year, with one commission member voting against the rezone of the property. Both applications also have conditions that include a deed restriction as well as a reversion clause for the property's zoning to return to general manufacturing if the project does not go through. Prior to the village board's approval, several residents spoke in favor of and against the project. Among those in favor were several seniors looking to downsize from their existing properties, but not wanting to leave the village. Polly Gowalak said she does not qualify for some of the affordable senior housing that currently exists in the village. We need a place where we can go to live, Gowalak said. Those that oppose, they apparently haven't given it a whole lot of thought, because eventually they're going to move out of their homes too, and they're going to need a place. Village resident Joanne Ryan said that she was in agreement with the idea of some apartments on the site, but said that the number proposed was out of control. Ryan said she was also concerned with traffic in the area. I understand why someone would be worried about traffic, however. It's about balancing and priorities, Carol Beach said. We have human beings who need places to live that are accessible for seniors. Mary Ann Kalapi, chair of the Historic Preservation Commission, said that it's not just about accessibility for seniors, but that it is about accessibility to the community. The portion out on Quaker Road, I think, is very isolating, Kalapi said. You're still in the village, but can you access the things that make village life wonderful? Sean Hopkins, attorney representing Young Development, said that they would be providing a shuttle service for residents of the complex to use. Saxon Deck said she did not believe the area was suitable for senior housing and that limiting a project of that size to just seniors was very limiting. I would really like us to think in terms of affordable housing for all segments of our society versus just one, Deck said. Deck said that she wanted the village board to look more into the possibility of attracting a manufacturer to the site. Michelle Parrish said she was not for the project, but did not know where else in the village a project of that size could go. She suggested the project be relocated to the town. There's tons of land. Why do we have to cramp it in someplace where we're spot zoning again? Parrish said. When board members discussed the proposal after public comments, Viger said she was concerned that a commercial project in the space would most likely include a self-storage facility which she believed would not benefit seniors. Trustee Kristen Cameron said she believed that a commercial facility could possibly generate more traffic. I am concerned about housing capacity here, Trustee Ryan Camp said. I am excited about the potential for this to create more housing stock in the village. Cameron said that she did not generally support rezoning parcels, but that senior housing is a massive community need. Rezoning is not something we take lightly. In this case, we are zoning from a more, egregious zone in an industrial down to a residential zone. We would like the village board to have been further along with the comprehensive plan, which would help board members with their decision. The village board will meet again at 7 p.m. Monday, July 20th at the Aurora Municipal Center on Oakwood Avenue. Civic innovator Dan Burton is visiting East Aurora. Mayor Luke Wojcinski and built environment expert Dan Burton were intently studying a huge tabletop map of the village when I joined them in the mayor's office on the 4th of July. Burton from the Blue Zones project was returning to East Aurora at the behest of village officials to consult upon ways to make East Aurora more walkable, bikeable, safer, and a more enjoyable place to live. Burton had been here in the earlier 2000s offering recommendations that led to improvements to our Main Street. It's a Main Street he loves. I love East Aurora. You've got a great community and Main Street, he told me. I'm glad to be back. As this paper goes to press, he'll host a series of public forums culminating in a walking tour of the village. In the mayor's office, the talk centered on the details of village infrastructure, roundabouts, parking, bike lanes, crosswalks, sidewalks, speed limits, sight lanes, traffic lanes, etc., and how it might be improved. The map had already been marked with concerns from Police Chief Patrick Welch and DPW Superintendent Jeff Stoll, and now Burton was adding his thoughts. I'll be reporting on his ideas and public input in next week's Advertiser. For this week's paper, I wanted to find out about Dan Burton himself. So on Monday, July 5th, we pulled up some chairs on the Roycroft's peristyle for a chat. Burton, I would learn from my research before our talk, is a celebrity in the community planning world. Time magazine called him one of the 6 most important civic innovators in the world. He was included in the top 100 most influential urbanists of all time by the academic research group Plantizen. He explained his journey. I went to college on and off for 17 years, switching majors on a regular basis. I finally got my degree in recreation planning. What I found in the working world is that I was interested in bringing change, but not by technical knowledge. I understood that people were afraid of change so much so that when a comprehensive bike plan or anything came up, it would get watered down if people didn't understand it. So I went to graduate school and learned interpersonal communications. How do people communicate? I became a master at that. Hmm. About that time, 1980, Florida was looking for its first bicycle coordinator, and I was asked to apply. I got the job because I was already an expert in bicycling, having bicycled from Alaska to Argentina with my wife, Liz. That was a 3 year trip. I started the bike centennial and sent 4,200 riders across the country for our bicentennial. Then I was asked to start the Bicycle Federation, which is the organization for professionals that work in the field. That was all before I earned the master's degree. In 1980, I became the first bicycle coordinator of Florida hired by the state's Department of Transportation. I went over to Australia at their request to show them what we were doing in Florida and America. And I realized it's not about bicycling, it's about walking. Without asking permission, I changed my job title to Bicycle and Pedestrian Coordinator, the first in the nation. Anyway, around 1996, I felt that the Florida DOT, although they were a great employer, wasn't a big enough sandbox for me. So I hung up my shingle, created walkable communities, and not too long after that, East Aurora brought me in. Now, he does most of his work through Blue Zones, an organization that wants to build cities with the health of the citizens in mind. His title is Director of Inspiration and Innovation. Blue Zones, which is probably best known for founder Dan Buettner, investigation of regions around the world with a preponderance of age-defying elders, is featured on a Netflix series. Burton now lives in Port Townsend, Washington, a town of 10,000 with a beautiful main street. He's worked in 4,000 communities and has 20 people on staff. I'm 82 and I love what I do, so why stop? In an interview for BlueZones.com, he said, "Life really kicked into gear when I turned 50. It felt like I finally had enough experience and brain muscles to do something interesting. Looking back on my 80, now 82 years of life, my decision to become an inspirational mentor to others kicked into high gear at around age 50. Each of us sharing this world have limited ability to induce change, but when we inspire others, we change the world." Bridge dedicated to 4 fallen Boston firefighters. A bridge on Rice Road in the town of Boston has been dedicated in memory of 4 volunteer firefighters who lost their lives during a rescue attempt nearly 5 decades ago. State Senator Patrick Gallivan and Assembly David DiPietro recently joined members of the Boston Fire Company to dedicate the bridge over State Route 219 as the Boston Fire Company Fallen Firefighters Memorial Bridge. The designation honors firefighter David Hadley, Eugene Schmidt, Dana Stevens, and Donald Farner, who died on July 15, 1978, after being overcome by carbon monoxide while attempting to rescue a teenager trapped in a residential well. The teenager survived, as did firefighter Fran Thiel, who also participated in the rescue. As you can imagine, this tragedy shook the entire Boston community and firefighters throughout the region, Gallivan said. It is never too late to recognize the service these brave volunteers provided to their neighbors and to honor their memory. This bridge designation will help ensure future generations know of their sacrifice. DePatrol said the memorial recognizes the courage of the four firefighters and preserves their legacy for future generations. These four heroes ran toward danger, and their sacrifice will never be forgotten. Several family members attended the dedication, including Isabel Schmidt, widow of Eugene Schmidt, Shirley Hadley, widow of David Hadley, and Cleo Cobb, widow of Donald Farner. Patty Stevens, widow of Dana Stevens, is deceased. The bridge designation was authorized through legislation sponsored by Gallivan and DePatrol and signed into law by the governor. The New York State Department of Transportation installed signs along State Route 219 recognizing the Rice Road overpass in honor of the fallen firefighters. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the East Aurora Advertiser on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Operation Key Fob recovers stolen vehicles. A coordinated law enforcement initiative targeting stolen vehicles led to multiple recoveries and arrests during its first deployment, Erie County Sheriff John C. Garcia announced. During the evening of July 1st, Operation Key Fob resulted in the recovery of 4 stolen vehicles and the removal of 4 additional vehicles from the stolen vehicle database. 2 people were arrested and charged with criminal possession of stolen property. The operation involved deputies and dispatchers from the Erie County Sheriff's Office, along with the New York State Police and police departments from Buffalo, Amherst, Hamburg, and Cheektowaga. According to the Sheriff's Office, 734 vehicles have been reported stolen in Erie County so far this year. Officials say Operation Key Fob combines air and ground units with intelligence resources to locate stolen vehicles and return them to their owners. Law enforcement agencies recovered 25% of the county's outstanding stolen vehicles during Wednesday's operation, according to the Sheriff's Office. Garcia said the July 1st operation marks the beginning of a summer-long effort. Last night's deployment is only the start, he said. Working with our law enforcement partners, we will be out in this community all summer long trying to make these victims whole. The sheriff also encouraged residents to take steps to prevent vehicle theft by removing valuables from their vehicles, locking their doors, and bringing their keys inside their homes. Tickets are available for Aurora Players 2026-27 season. The Aurora Players will present a season filled with comedy during its 2026-27 season, featuring a Tony Award-winning musical, a fair show comedy, and a classic Oscar Wilde play. The season opens in October with A Gentleman's Guide to Love and Murder, the Tony Award-winning musical comedy about ambition, romance, and an unlikely heir who discovers an inventive path to an inheritance. The production is known for featuring a single performer portraying 8 members of the ill-fated DeStross family. In March, Aurora Players will stage Don't Dress for Dinner, a fast-paced comedy of mistaken identities, secret schemes, and unexpected twists. The season concludes with The Importance of Being Earnest, Oscar Wilde's classic comedy of manners that satires Victorian society through witty dialogue and memorable characters. Our 2026-27 season is all about joy, bringing audiences together to laugh, celebrate, and experience the magic of live theater. Aurora Players Board President Rebecca Caulfield said, "From a high energy musical to a classic comedy, this season celebrates the joy of live theater and the power of laughter to bring people together. Season ticket packages are now on sale for $50 and include admission to all three productions. Subscribers also receive priority seating before individual tickets become available to the public. Single show tickets will go on sale 6 weeks before each production opens. All performances will be held at the historic Roycroft Pavilion Theater in Hamlin Park. For more information or to purchase season tickets, visit auroraplayers.org or call the Aurora Players box office at 716 687 6727. Aurora Players is a volunteer-operated nonprofit community theater that has been producing live performances in Western New York since 1935. Summer Bird Update. Once the 4th of July has passed, I often get a wake-up call that summer truly is flying by. It's a reminder for us to take in as much of summer's fun and beauty as possible. The recent stretch of heat and humidity make us more likely to take advantage of some of the cooler, less humid, beautiful summer days ahead. Oppressive weather sure seems to slow us down, yet our emergency volunteers and workers still step up with their help, and for that we can be very grateful. Thank you. In the world of nature, we often wonder how the animals and plants are doing in those oppressive situations. My answer is that nature just handles it and handled it for thousands of years. Given that we had plenty of spring and early summer rain, the crops seem to have fared quite well in the heat. Corn requires plenty of heat units and thrives as long as it has moisture in the ground. The last couple of summers turned very hot and droughty, reducing yields of hay and corn in many locations, only to be saved by late summer moisture and pleasant weather. The genetics that have been bred into field crops, especially corn, are quite amazing. This is evidenced by heavily stressed corn plants responding miraculously to much needed rain. For us gardeners, it seems like the weeds do well regardless of heat stress and limited moisture. Now that's the truth. It seems like the birds have been doing well. Warm weather brings us many insects, which are the overall primary food of our birds. Yes, many birds do like seeds, but it is the steady supply of insects and their larvae that are critical to the food chain. As much as we complain about pesky insects, they are important as a food source and as pollinators. Honeybees and butterflies are so nice to have around the yard. Right now, our lavender is in full bloom, and it's so nice to see all of the pollinator action in other flowers, all the way through summer and into fall. If you are feeding orioles, you may be seeing some sporadic activity. The young are out of the nest and learning how to find food, often including a visit to the grape jelly. A good source of insect provides the much needed protein for the developing young birds. Over the 4th, I did an inspection of our purple martin colonies nesting progress at Silver Lake. There, we have a gourd rack which we can lower to ground level to check on each nesting. The results show that the 64 total eggs laid in May and early June have transformed to about 60 young birds being fed steadily by their busy parents. It's much fun watching them. Hummingbirds are providing us with plenty of their fancy flying entertainment, changing stall or anti-infested. Sugar water is important, especially if it is in the hot sun all day. The hummers know how to find your feeder even if it is in the shade. We have enjoyed watching them and our perennials as well. Cedar waxwings are in full nesting mode now, as it is the season for ripening blueberries and other berries to feed their young. Watch for them. If you go blueberry picking, chances are that they may have a nest in your backyard shade tree. Bluebirds are having a good nesting season, but still, predators like raccoons, red squirrels, and English sparrows disrupt many nests. Don't give up on attracting bluebirds and monitoring their nests. Sometimes ants invade their nests, so checking on the nest is important. Call me with any questions you might have or go to nysbs.org, New York State Bluebird Society, for more information. Take advantage of more comfortable weather to do some of your own bird nature walks, and you will likely see some neat things. The other day on my walk, I found a willow flycatcher's nest at eye level. I looked in and found 4 eggs, but one of them was larger and different. Yes, a cowbird egg was in there. Cowbirds don't make a nest or raise their young, but instead take advantage of smaller birds to raise their young. The nest of that flycatcher is beautiful. Goldfinches won't start nesting until later this month, more in line with a much more bountiful seed crop later in the summer to help feed their young. Yes, they will also be eating plenty of juicy insect larvae as well. There is so much to see out there with so many young birds sticking close to their parents for feeding assistance. Just sit still and watch what is going on around you at home or out in the woods. I could go on and on discussing birds with you, but we're out of room. Thanks for reading my column, and let's be thankful for our freedom and the blessings of nature that God has bestowed upon us. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the East Aurora Advertiser on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Iroquois teachers among recipients of regional education grants. 2 Iroquois Central School District educators are among 5 teachers from Western New York selected to receive $1,000 grants from the Western Zone of the Retired Educators of New York. RENY Western Zone recently awarded the grants to educators from across its 5-county region, which includes Cattaraugus, Chautauqua, Erie, Genesee, and Niagara counties. The grants will support creative classroom projects and cultural presentations during the 2026-27 school year. Among the recipients are Jacqueline Long and Kayla Doka of the Iroquois Central School District, who received funding for a uniquely creative classroom-related project. Other grant recipients include Darcy Paluski, Alden Central School District, Kinder Creator Storybook Makerspace, Jennifer Schmidt, North Collins Central School District, From Tank to Table, a school-based aquaphonics research laboratory. Kathleen Rice, Newfane Central School District, From Imagination to Innovation, bringing 3D printing to elementary learners. Jean Denton, Pavilion Central School District, illuminating early math, integrating LED light panels to enrich universal pre-K mathematics instruction. The grants were awarded through a competitive application process that drew 25 submissions. Projects were evaluated on their creativity and educational value, with funding intended to help educators enhance learning opportunities for students during the upcoming school year. RENY Western Zone said the grants reflect its commitment to supporting innovative classroom instruction and enriching educational experiences for students throughout the region. East Aurora Summer Street Festival returns on July 25th. More than 120 vendors, artisans, food vendors, and community organizations will fill the streets of East Aurora when the 57th Annual East Aurora Summer Street Festival returns Saturday, July 25th. Hosted by the Greater East Aurora Chamber of Commerce, the free event will take place from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. along Main and Riley Streets. Formerly known as the Sidewalk Sale and Street Festival, the event transforms the Village Business District into a marketplace featuring shopping, food, live entertainment, and family activities. A featured attraction is the Operation Kids Makers Market, where young entrepreneurs will sell handmade products while gaining experience in business and customer service. The Operation Kids area will also host the Big Little Art Show, a youth exhibition presented with Howling Women Studio. This year's theme is Menagerie of Enchanting Creatures. Families can also enjoy the Kids Zone, face painting, alpacas from Kester's Farm, art activities, and additional attractions throughout the day. Live entertainment includes chalk mural artists from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., sponsored by the Town of Aurora's Park and Recreation Department, along with music by Big J Blues and DJ Norm Weller. Entertainment scheduled outside the Chamber office at 652 Main Street includes animal meet and greets with Hawk Creek Wildlife Center at 11:30 a.m. and 1 p.m., and martial arts demonstrations by Kemple Martial Arts Academy at 12:15 p.m. and 2 p.m. The festivities begin the day before with Sun to Sunset in EA, a village-wide shopping event from noon to 7 p.m. Friday, July 24th, participating businesses throughout the village will offer sidewalk sales, pop-up shops, specials, and refreshments and promotions. A map of participating merchants will be available on the Chamber's website. Main Street will be closed from Olean Street to Elm Street, while Riley Street will be closed between Main Street and Riley Street Station during the festival. Admission is free, and the event will be held rain or shine. Free public parking will be available in the municipal lot on Riley Street behind Taste Bistro and Coffee Bar, adjacent to Manny's Ace Hardware and Ariba Tortilla, as well as in public parking lots and on village streets. Organizers ask visitors not to park in private lots. For vendor information, event updates, and a map of participating businesses, visit the Greater East Aurora Chamber of Commerce website or follow the Chamber on social media. Fashion show taking place at the bank. As of this August, fashion can be added to the list for what East Aurora is known for. Amaya Blattner, who graduated from East Aurora High School in 2024, along with Noah D. Nicochia, a Buffalo State University student, will be hosting the 2026 Flora and Fauna Fashion Show in August. I had the opportunity to sit down with Amaya to better understand the workings of the show and what goes into putting one like this together. Blattner said that her and D. Nicochia have agreed to put in an equal amount of effort into the show and share the spotlight. Blattner's designs will represent nature's flora, and D. Nicochia's design will represent our fauna. Dee Nicosia will focus on menswear utilizing a whole lot of denim. He will be opening the show with 10 different animal affiliated designs featuring local animals indigenous to Buffalo. Blattner will be closing the show with her 10 ethereal women's wear floral designs, showing a spotlight on her knack for choristry while representing the beautiful plants and flowers that we all know and love in Western New York. Blattner said this show is a practical step towards building the pair's future as they embark into the large and complex world of fashion. Blattner started making clothes when she was 8 years old and has been interested in designing clothes ever since. She attended the Bosse's Harkness Center for Fashion Design and Technology in her last 2 years of high school education, and after graduating, she attended Buffalo State University as a fashion design major. She just finished up her sophomore year at Buffalo State and plans to transfer to the Fashion Institute of Technology for this upcoming fall semester to finish her next 2 years of school to earn a bachelor's degree in fashion design. Blattner said her 5-year plan would include a partnership with a boutique or store. This would enable her to present her own creative designs on their racks, being available for purchase. In the long run, she aspires to be a wedding dress designer, but right now she's focusing on her custom couture while she is living in Buffalo as a student. Blattner is currently making one-of-a-kind designs as requested by her clients. She specializes in making corsets and bringing her customers' dreams come true. However, she decided that she would like to create something from her own creative mind and show the public exactly what her style is and what she's capable of. She is using this fashion show as a showcase for her own designs that come from her heart and really represent who she is. Dee Nicosia started out pursuing dance while attending high school at Talent Unlimited in New York City. During his senior year, he made a switch to fashion. He spent his days upcycling jeans for himself and his friends and decided to attend Buffalo State University. Throughout his time in college, he has grown and learned to intricately cut and sew his own designs. Dee Nicosia runs his own brand, Imperial Denims, where he is able to accept custom orders and create his own ideas. He hand makes all of his upcycled designs so he can work towards his skill and bettering himself in making clothes and growing his brand. One common thing that Blattner and Dee Nicosia value is integrity in their designs, excluding shortcuts involving fast fashion or artificial intelligence. They both place an emphasis on cutting and designing their own patterns. They will not reuse someone else's work. Everything that comes from them is 100% original. Some of Blattner's favorite designers are John Galliano and Robert One, and some of Dee Nicosia's inspirations include Roberto Cavalli and Ralph Lauren. Tickets can be purchased in the following QR code: regular for $20 or VIP with premium seating and handmade tote bag for $35. The event will be held at the bank on Main Street at 6 p.m. August 6th. Save the sweatpants and leggings for a lazy day, and take this as an opportunity to dress up a little bit and wear that outfit that's been waiting for a moment to shine. For more information about this event, visit at Amaya Sittler or at Imperial Denim on Instagram. Knives Out with Sheep. I need a break from talking about horror movies. How about a sheep-based whodunit instead? The Sheep Detectives was not a movie on my radar in the slightest, and watching it was a very snap decision. 2 hours later, however, I was very glad with that decision. The Sheep Detectives ended up being a very sweet and likable movie where I cared just as much about the different sheep as I did the actual plot of the film. It's equal parts comedy and mystery, and I found it to be equally emotional in parts as well. The plot. The film opens up with George Hardy, Hugh Jackman, a shepherd narrating a letter he's writing to someone mysterious. He introduces all of his different sheep from Lily, voiced by Julia Louis Dreyfus, to Sebastian, voiced by Bryan Cranston. He even concludes his note by sharing that he always reads his sheep mystery novels at the end of the day. Like any good mystery movie, however, soon after George is found dead, when the only local police officer, Nicholas Braun, proves to be incredibly incompetent, George's sheep band together to solve his mystery using what they've learned from the stories they've heard. From there, it's your standard mystery movie, except, of course, the ones involved, the ones solving the case are sheep. The film plays into this as well, as the sheep cannot communicate with humans and struggle to navigate the world outside of their meadow. There are a lot of heartfelt moments in here as well. Tears may have been brought to my eyes at certain moments. The Sheep Detectives includes the fictional power of sheep to willingly forget certain things they find to be upsetting, which leads to the film covering diving into grief and the importance of remembering lost loved ones. This plot point ended up being one of the most poignant elements of the film to me and brought a lot of attention to an otherwise comic film. Most importantly, the film is engaging and it's very easy to become invested in the mystery. It's hard to say which it's hard to say much else given how much a mystery film relies on its audience not knowing the plot. So I'll leave my wholehearted recommendation to go out and see The Sheep Detective so you can experience the plot's twists and turns for yourself. Acting. There is an interesting blend of live action and voice acting blended together in this film, with live action characters like George and the policeman mixed with the voice talents behind the sheep. I don't think any of the actors will be up for a Grammy for any of their work here. No one is putting out career defining performances, so to speak. But honestly, I think it would be a trifle embarrassing to have one's career defined by voicing a computer generated sheep. Jokes aside, both the acting and voice acting are done well. There are some characters like Sebastian, Bryan Cranston, who you can very easily tell is just Bryan Cranston, doing a vaguely gruff voice. I never took any issue with any of the performances in the film, and all of the actors do a great job of playing into the campness of the film, visuals, and audio. A movie like this could have very easily fallen into the uncanny valley, but thankfully I don't think it does. The CGI sheep don't look too out of place next to the live action humans, and even when they're talking to one another, it looks very well done. Taking place in the English town of Denbrook, there are a lot of gorgeous shots of rolling meadows, and the isolated village setting makes for a visually pleasing place for the film to take place. Audio design clearly is not really the focus of a film like this, which is fine for what this movie is. All the dialogue is crisp and audible, and as mentioned, the voice acting is well done. There's no breathtaking soundtrack here, but there's plenty of cute sheep noises to make up for it. Final verdict score. The Sheep Detectives ended up being a very pleasant surprise. I came into this movie expecting nothing remarkable, and I left feeling very satisfied with what I had watched. The film has a lot of heart, and I truly ended caring about these sheep. I would recommend The Sheep Detectives to anyone who's interested in a good mystery film and would score it a solid 8 out of 10. The film is rated PG for some moments of very mild violence and language, as well as covering the topics of grief and loss. The film is currently available to stream on Amazon Prime. Meetings. The East Aurora Village Board will meet at 7 p.m. Monday, July 20th at 575 Oakwood Avenue. Visit www.eastaurora.nys on the day of the meeting to see the agenda. The Alden Village Board will meet at 6:30 p.m. Tuesday, July 14th at the Village Hall located at 13336 Broadway. The Aurora Town Board will meet for a regular board meeting at 6:30 p.m. Monday, July 13th at 575 Oakwood Avenue. Visit www.townofaurora.com on the day of the meeting to learn more. The Alden Town Board will meet next at 6 p.m. Monday, July 20th at the Alden Town Hall located at 3311 Windy Road. The Marilla Town Board will meet at 7 p.m. Thursday, August 13th in the Marilla Town Hall on 2 Rod Road. The Elma Town Board will meet at 6 p.m. Wednesday, July 15th for a work session and at 7 p.m. for a regular meeting at the Town Hall on Bowen Road. The next Wells Town Board meeting is scheduled for 7 p.m. Tuesday, July 14th in the Wells Town Hall located at 12345 Big Tree Road. The Holland Town Board will meet at 7 p.m. Wednesday, August 5th in the Holland Town Hall on Pearl Street. The Alden School Board will meet at 6:30 p.m. Thursday, August 6th for a meeting in the library of the high school on Park Street. The East Aurora School Board will meet at 7 p.m. Wednesday, August 19th for a board meeting on the second floor of the middle school on Main Street. The Iroquois School Board will meet at 6 p.m. Wednesday, July 15th in room 96 of the middle school on Girdle Road. The Holland School Board will meet at 6 p.m. Monday, July 13th in the high school on Canada Street. Good cause. The East Aurora Moose Lodge hosts an event for the brave little fighters and children with cancer last Sunday. Nearly children up to 22 years old attended the event at the lodge and were treated to a fun-filled afternoon by the Moose members. Aurorians for Peace to hold community gathering July 25th. Aurorians for Peace will host its third peace event of 2026 on Saturday, July 25th, inviting community members to gather in a show of solidarity and hope. The event will begin at 11:30 a.m. at the Unitarian Universalist Church of East Aurora, 94 Buffalo Road. Organizers describe the gathering as an opportunity to gather, sing, and walk as Aurorians for Peace. The event is open to the public. Five Star Bank expands scholarship offerings. Five Star Bank has committed an additional $25,000 to the Lee Com at Elmira Five Star Bank Healthcare Scholars Program, bringing the bank's total investment in the scholarship initiative to $50,000. The program was established in 2025 through a partnership between Five Star Bank and Lake Erie College of Osteopathic Medicine, LECOM at Elmira, to help reduce financial barriers for students pursuing careers in medicine. Bank officials said the latest contribution builds on the program's first year and reflects an ongoing commitment to expanding educational opportunities across upstate New York. The scholarship program provides awards of up to $5,000 annually to qualified students from Western New York, Central New York, the Finger Lakes, and the Southern Tier who are completing their medical education. Carla J.L. Gadley, Community Development Director for Five Star Bank, said the initiative aligns with the bank's efforts to strengthen communities through education. Access to education is a critical part of that effort, Gadley said. We are encouraged by the impact this program has already had and are pleased to continue supporting LECOM students as they pursue their medical. Britain on President's List. Jordan Britton of South Wales was named to the Spring 2026 President's Honor Roll at Bismarck State College, having achieved a grade point average of 3.5 or better. Degrees. Dr. Richard R. Terry, Vice President of Health Sciences and Dean of LECOM at Elmira, said the additional funding will help students focus on their education while easing some of the financial challenges associated with earning a medical degree. We are grateful for the partnership and for the bank's ongoing commitment to helping our students achieve their professional goals, Terry said. Officials said the scholarship program is designed to support future healthcare professionals who are expected to serve communities throughout the region after completing their education. More information about LECOM at Elmira and available scholarship programs is available through the college's website. Events at the Elma Library. The following events will take place at the Elma Public Library at 1860 Bowen Road in Elma. Register for classes by calling the library at 716-652-2719. Locust Street Art, Painting from Life. Painting from life has always been an important activity. Capture the world around you in a painting that reflects how you see it. Learn all about viewfinding, perspective, blocking in shapes, creating depth, and more at 2 p.m. Thursday, July 16th through this program is for people over 17 years old. Pendixie. In this program, participants will discuss how fossils form and their different types. Everyone will become a paleontologist by studying the fossils and trying to discover their origins, be it plant, aquatic, or dinosaur. This is designed for children over 7 years old, and it takes place at 2 p.m. Tuesday, July 21st. Forest Lawn Lecture. Discover the beauty and significance of Forest Lawn Cemetery at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, July 22nd through an engaging presentation exploring its rich history and cultural importance to Western New York. Pop-up book sale in August. The Friends of the Library are hosting a pop-up book sale outside of the library under a tent from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Saturday, August 22nd. All books are in gentle used condition. Hardcovers are $2 and paperbacks are $1. CDs and movies are $2 and puzzles are priced as marked. Buy 5 books and get the 6th one free. All proceeds raised benefit the Aurora Town Public Library located at 550 Main Street in East Aurora. Call the library at 716-652-4440 for more information. Martha earns President's List. Sean Marthia of South Wales was named to the Spring 2026 President's List at SUNY Cortland, earning grades of A- or better in every class. Thornton on President's List. Kelsey Thornton of East Aurora was named to the Spring 2026 President's List at SUNY Cortland, earning grades of A- or better in every class. Murray graduates. Patrick Murray of East Aurora graduated from SUNY Canton with a Bachelor of Business Administration degree in finance. Former Iroquois totem pole to be dedicated at Elma Town Museum. A piece of Iroquois Central School history has found a new home. The former Iroquois High School totem pole, originally constructed and installed on the school's football field in June 1976 by members of the Iroquois Central School class of 1976, has been restored and relocated to the Elma Town Museum grounds. The totem pole was removed by the school district in 2024 as part of the state's required mascot change. The Elma Historical Society rescued the landmark and completed restoration work this spring. The restored totem pole will be formally dedicated at 2 p.m. Saturday, August 15th during the Iroquois Central School class of 1976 50th reunion weekend. The dedication ceremony will take place on the grounds of the Elma Town Museum and is open to the public. The Iroquois totem pole is placed into the ground on May 8th after a lengthy restoration process by the town historian and a group of Iroquois alumni. Using caution while hiking the Eternal Flame, Sheriff John Garcia is reminding people to take proper precautions on the Eternal Flame Trail in Chestnut Ridge Park after two hikers sustained injuries in separate incidents on Saturday, July 4th. At 1:07 p.m., the deputies were called to a mile marker 3 after a 44-year-old Illinois man reportedly fell on the trail and suffered a broken right ankle. Orchard Park EMS transported the man to ECMC for treatment. At 2:10 p.m., deputies were again called to the trail, this time in the area of mile marker 20. A 24-year-old Buffalo man reportedly fell and broke his left ankle. The man was located near the creek bed, forcing SWAT QRF personnel to rappel down the ravine to him to render aid. Orchard Park EMS also rendered aid and transported the man to Mercy Hospital of Buffalo for further evaluation. The Eternal Flame Trail can give even the most experienced hikers difficulty, Garcia said. It is important, very important, to utilize good footwear and know your limits. An East Aurora parade celebrating America 250. South Grove spectators, featured fire truck, float of service, Miss Liberty, Legion leaders, parade training, Zamboni ride, party on wheels. So much going on celebrating America 250 years. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the July issue of the East Aurora Advertiser. We read from the East Aurora Advertiser every Saturday at 10 a.m. Your reader has been Janice Marie Hunt. Thank you for listening.
Coming up next on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, we have a reading of the Niagara Gazette. At noon, we have the Dunkirk Observer. And at 1 o'clock, we have some of our Northtown Bees, including Amherst, Clarence, Cheektowaga, Lancaster, and Depew. Stay with us for these readings and more throughout the day. You're listening to the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. As of this year, our agency has broadcast more than 300,000 hours of radio readings. Volunteer radio readers read newspapers, magazines, and books to area people who are blind or have a print disability, who are provided reading radios. Radio Reading's broadcast signal is provided at no charge by WNED. Radio Reading broadcasts from studios at 1199 Harlem Road in suburban Buffalo. Please let others know about Radio Reading. It's your service. For more information on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service, call 716-821-5555. following program is intended for listeners who are blind, have low vision, or have another print disability